Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. In this video I'm going to talk about the brand new Sitka full choke pack. This is new for 2019 and is a bit of an upgrade, I think, from the previous version of this. So what I'm going to do in this video is go over the details of the bag, how it's organized, some of the main technologies that they've incorporated into this new version, share with you some waterproof testing, the results of that, and then at the end give you my overall views on this bag and a few other products that I considered instead of this one initially. So as usual, links to this and some of the other products that I mentioned in this video will be in the description below. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell as well to get updates on future videos and any further information I might have on this pack later on. Alright, so the single biggest difference I think in this pack versus the previous version is that they incorporated this waterproof material for the entire construction of the bag. It states on the website that they also did RF welding for the seams to try to eliminate seams that could leak water. I'll show you what I think that is, and it's not 100% on the bag. So basically what they've done is they did a weld on the bottom seam of this bag. So now you've got this bit of a continuous segment that runs along the bottom and the side here that should be completely waterproof. The other seams, however, all of the stitching here along the different parts of the bag are not waterproof from what I can tell. Now in terms of the bag itself, it took me a little bit to get my head around how this bag is intended to use compared to what I typically use. So I've typically used backpacks for my waterfowl hunting and I've gotten used to that. You can't really think of it, in my opinion, this bag is a backpack. It's really more like a blind bag with backpack functionality. So if you look at it from this orientation on sideways, it's really, I think, how it's meant to be used and accessed. Now it does have backpack straps. It actually has a waist belt that's removable that I'll talk about more in detail in a little bit, so you can carry it upright and you can use it upright, but it's not that conducive really to accessing the contents. And the reason I say that is because it has four zippered compartments, and this first one along the back is the longest. The zipper starts here at the top and travels down this side. It does not extend down this side at all. The second compartment is along the top here only. So if you have an upright configuration, it's only on the side. This one on the front is also on the side here, and then you have one that's up here along the top, which is easily accessible in an upright configuration. So let's get into some of the details on the dimensions of these compartments, because I couldn't find anything online about it. So this main compartment is the largest. It opens up all the way this way and here. You've got the entire area of the bag to play with here. So that's about 20 inches or so in length. It's approximately, I'm going to say 13 to 14 inches in height. And if you really wanted to go the entire depth of the bag, it's probably 8 inches or 9 inches or so. Because this material is quite flexible, you can push this down, right? As far as organization in this main compartment, you've got the main big area and you've got two pockets inside that are zipped. This one is these are all pretty large. This one's pretty large here. And again, on this side, that's even larger. The next compartment is this middle compartment. The zipper portion here is about 14 inches in length. Again, this gives you the full, maybe slightly less access in length, but pretty much the same 18 inches or so. Again, you can, depending on where you put stuff, you've got quite a bit of space in there depth-wise and the full width of the bag. This one has 3 compartments for organization. It's got a flapped compartment here that's for, I think, sunglasses. It's got another one here that's got elastic sides on it, so you can really stretch this out and put some quite large stuff in there if you want. Thinking maybe a small mojo would fit in there. And then on the front side of this is a zippered mesh pocket for further organization. Okay, third is the pocket in front. Zipper on this pocket measures about 9 inches. And this is just a simple pocket, no further organization inside of that. But it does extend all the way to the top of the bag. So the zipper is 9 inches, but the overall length of stuff that you can put on there is about 11 inches or so. You've got a zipper on the top. This is also about 9 inches. The zipper on top has a mesh pocket here with another zipper in here for organization. And finally, I don't know if this is really meant for organization, but on this back, this is a bit rigid. This back plate, it's got a snap that you can undo there, and that opens this area up. So I'm thinking you can put your Mojo pick stick or Mojo poles or whatever stakes in here if you want. It does extend all the way to the bottom here. So a few other features to point out about the bag. So it's got these cinch straps on the front. These are with metal clasps or buckles, I'm not sure what you want to call these, on the top. This is nice. It's got a little bit of a webbing management system here to take up the slack. So you can use those to cinch the bag down for whatever contents you got. You can roll up and stuff bulky items like bulky under layers or whatever, jackets or whatnot, in here to carry them around. I'm sure there's Mojos you can put, there's all sorts of uses for this, I'm sure. So the bag also includes these, a duck strap, I guess. This has there's 2 of these. They have a metal carabiner style hook on the top, which is quite nice. I think an improvement over the previous model. Each one of these has 4 loops. I've used them before already, and it's been great. So these I think are intended to attach here. There's a metal D-ring on the top here, so those just snap in. They're even color coded, which is kind of cool, and hang there to carry your ducks or whatever other gear you're going to be carrying with these. So it does have a webbing loop here to hang the bag, but I find that an oversized carabiner works a little bit better. So I use an oversized carabiner and typically hang it from the main handles. It's got a handle here and up here. So the shoulder straps for this are quite nice. They're ventilated kind of foam EVA. I'm not sure what the material is. It's dense foam inside of here with mesh all around, so it breathes really well, and if it gets wet, it is going to dry relatively quickly, but it is going to get wet. It's got nylon webbing here with so you can adjust this. This slides up and down along this to give you better positioning. The bag does come with a waist belt. This is easily removable. It has a hook and loop patch here that actually holds it in place when it slides under the backing here. It's ergonomically shaped, so once you cinch it up, it's actually shaped to kind of sit down and hug your hip bone to provide support and really carrying capacity there. So it's quite comfortable. It feels pretty nice. For my purposes, for the most part, I'm not going to need this, so I just removed it, which is also nice. So as I mentioned before, the bag is not waterproof. It's water resistant. So the fabric itself is waterproof, but the zippers and some of these seams are. And so, you know, being me, I'm going to test to see how waterproof it is, even though that's not the intended purpose. Here's a test on what happened when I did that. So I do want to mention something real quick. I put a 3-pound weight inside of the bag, and as you can notice, the bag wants to float, and I'm having to really push it down to get it down into the water. So this is actually forcing the air out of the bag. Again, not really what it's intended to do, but kind of a torture test. Now here you can see the different bubbles that are popping up out of the different points. That's obviously the leak points you can see on the edges of the zipper. And if you look closely here, you can see that some of the bubbles are coming out from the stitching on some of the seams. And ultimately, as you can tell, there's quite a bit of water in the bag after being submerged for 30 seconds or more. Again, I'm pushing it into the water, I'm forcing the air out, which is allowing the water to come in. Probably not exactly a realistic situation, but those are the results. Okay, so one of the things that you'll have to consider in this bag is how you like organizing your stuff. And one of the main pieces for me that I think I'm okay with so far is how to organize my ammo. So I'm going to go through some typical loading of this bag for me and what I've been using. So I usually carry my ammo in the boxes, and I found that the middle pocket here is the best place for that. So I can put these boxes down towards the bottom of the bag, this being the bottom, and stack them in there and put whatever else I need. And that's okay, because if I flip them up, they're still down at the bottom, or I put it on the side, it's still on this side, and they're not bouncing around everywhere. If you put them on this side and then flip the bag up, obviously they're going to be tumbling and your shells are going to be all over the place. The other key thing about putting it in this middle pocket is that, as I mentioned, Sometimes I hang this bag from this oversized carabiner, so say we're hunting a panel blind or something, I'll hook this to the panel. If this is hanging like this, you can access this middle bag. You can't access this back this pocket very easily, right? And I really think if you're gonna hang it to access, you need to hang it this way. If you hang it this way, your access is only on the side basically, which is okay. Maybe you get used to it, but it doesn't feel comfortable to me. So other typical uses on this back, what I'm using this large compartment for is my camera gear. So since I'm usually trying to film my hunts, I put my tripod in here, my camcorder fits in here, and a few other things. I can put some additional rain gear or whatnot in this backpack, this back compartment, which is quite nice. This back compartment does have two zipper pulls. This is the only zipper that has that. All the other ones are just single. The front compartment, I've been using primarily to hold my duck call lanyard. Again, you can use for different stuff, but this is where I'm putting mine, so that fits pretty well in there and keeps it from being tangled up with everything else. This top compartment I find very useful. This is where I put batteries, my headlamp goes in there, my walkers, silencer, game ears, earbuds go in there, and I keep the duck strap lanyard in there as well. So this is very easy to get to. I can get to it in either configuration. This is the first thing I go for in the morning to put my headlamp and everything else on, so it's quite nice. So I did consider several other bags while I was trying to decide what to do for an upgrade. And I'm going to mention those briefly and tell you the reasons that I chose to go with this one after all, but just depending on your situation and what your uses are. So the first one was the Yeti Panga 28. That's a backpack Yeti made. It's waterproof, material. I think it's welded and it's got a waterproof zipper on it. Couple of issues with it, and the reasons I didn't go with it ultimately was that it was not camo, which is not that big of a deal for me really, but just something to point out. For some of you guys it will be. But it's got one main compartment with very little organization. So it is waterproof, and I really like that about it. That I wish this one was fully waterproof, but the organization I thought was going to be a deal breaker for me because of trying to keep everything straight, and I don't like having everything just piled into one compartment and have to dig for it and look for every little thing that I want. So that was the reason that I didn't get that bag, but still looks like an awesome bag. The other one that I considered and was on the fence about was the Sitka timber pack. So another Sitka pack, that one is intended to be used upright. It's got a strap, so you can hang it on a tree if you're hunting the timber, which I don't typically do. The pack looked really awesome. It's got good organization, big compartments to be able to get into from the top. The downside to it, and the reason I chose not to get it, was that on the Sitka timber, this waterproof material is on the bottom portion of the bag only. And the rest of it is a fabric with water repellent treatment, which is going to be fine for rain in most cases, but what happens with the water repellent treatments is over time, over a long period of time, or if you really get it grimy and in the muck, it will eventually wet through. And so I found this to be a better option because it was waterproof material all around, although the seams are not waterproof. So it's a bit of a compromise. So I think of all those three, for my purposes, this was the better choice, but you'll have to consider your specific situation and see which one would work best for you. Or maybe it's another one that I just didn't cover or didn't know about. A couple other things that I want to talk about with this bag that I think could be improvement. So it's not a perfect bag in my opinion, but it's pretty good and the best that I thought was available for my purposes. So these little cinches up at the front, I like that they're metal. That's really good. I wish they had a keeper to keep this from coming off of the loop. So I'll do a close-in so you can see the design. It is a pretty clever design, but what I find is that when it's rattling loose, it can still come off by itself, which is a bit of a nuisance. So if it had a little keeper on there, carabiner style, I think that would be a little bit better. So another thing is I wish Sitka would have made these zippers, gone ahead and made them waterproof, and also done the RF welding type seams across the entire bag. That would have improved the waterproofing on the bag quite a bit. You know, is this going to be fine in the rain? Yes, I think so. If you just set it down in the muck, it's going to be fine. Really, it's only if that comes into play, only if you're submerging it or putting it in a lot of water, which probably isn't going to be the case for most. So it looked like this year they thought about webbing management a bit more. So like the webbing that's on the hip belt or waist belt has these little Velcro tabs on it to help you manage the excess webbing. The straps on the front have that as well, but the shoulder straps don't. They don't have anything to manage the excess webbing here. or in the front. So that's a little disappointing. I would have liked to have seen something so you could roll up the excess here once you have it adjusted and keep it kind of from flopping around. It's just a nuisance or annoyance for me, but you know, not a deal breaker, just would have been nice. So overall, I'm really happy with the bag so far. I've only used it a few times this season, but still it's working great. I like the organization and I like the waterproofing. If you're looking to upgrade your pack, this is one to consider. Again, all the links to this and the other packs that I mentioned are going to be in the description below. Hey guys, until next time, good luck out there, and thanks for watching.